And we're taking a live look outside over a dark downtown Denver on your Friday morning. That is right, I said Friday. Ooh, we made it, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Jordan Chavez here alongside Anusha Roy. Corey has the morning off.
Yeah, we're going to head right over to Ed Green because, Ed, we've got another really pleasant day to look forward to.
We really do. Sunshine is going to be back. It's just going to be a little cooler than yesterday's 70, but 70 was well above the normal high of 53. We'll be about 10 degrees above that normal high. 63 degrees today, but you may have seen those gusty winds as that front went through, and that's what's cooled us off a little bit today. A look outside shows the temperatures much cooler than they were yesterday at this time. We're looking at 20s, 30s, 40s around the state today. Mostly sunny skies as the day progresses. 63 degrees our high in Denver. Then for tomorrow, 64 degrees, and we'll see an increase in clouds. Sunday, 59 degrees with partly cloudy skies, and then on Monday, much cooler and a chance for some snow showers. And then we're right back to the 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday with those partly sunny skies.
Thank you, Ed. Happy Friday, everyone. 5:01 is your time. We are taking a live look from I-25 southbound and northbound lanes right near Empower Field. This is right at the intersection of 23rd Avenue where traffic there is flowing nicely. But I do want to switch things over to our main graphics because we do have a fire activity happening right now. Those in downtown Littleton, you're going to see a heavy police presence in this area right at the intersection of Prince and Main Street. So you probably want to avoid that because crews are trying to clear that up right now. Now, southbound I-25 at 144th Avenue, we are in the green. No delays to report in that area and no crashes as well. You can see it's going to be a nice 8-minute drive.
All right, thanks so much for that, Brianna. State legislators are heading back to the Capitol this morning to work on property tax relief.
Yeah, 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is out live outside the Capitol for us this morning. Now, Courtney, the governor called a special session that's starting today.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Anusha and Jordan. Governor Polis asked lawmakers to reconvene at 9 a.m. today to provide property tax relief for 2023, which is paid next year. This comes after voters struck down Proposition HH during last week's statewide election. Now, we've learned that Democrats are planning to repackage key parts of Prop HH and pass them this special session. Their proposal would change the way property taxes are calculated next year. Under their plan, $50,000 of your home's value would be taxed free, and the statewide assessment rate would go down. The legislature had also set aside $200 million to be used if Prop HH passed. With its failure, that $200 million is still there to be spent or saved.
I want to be clear, we don't have a particular plan in the sense of the actual policy, but we want to give the legislature the room to use the $200 million for property tax relief, to use more than that for property tax relief.
And lawmakers today can pursue a few different ways to change property taxes, not permanently, but just for next year. They can change your Tabor refunds. That's on the table. But again, nothing in this special session will address long-term property tax issues. It takes a minimum of 3 days in Colorado to pass a bill. So this special session will last at least until through Sunday. Jordan, Anusha.
Yeah, and Courtney, you know, even though that this is not an issue on the ballot, voters are going to be watching what happens in the special session very, very closely. Thank you for that.
We do have some new information this morning on a suspect wanted for murder in Lone Tree. The Department of Corrections says James Neal was released on parole in mid-April. He had pleaded guilty in 2020 to second-degree assault and then was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Neal is now wanted in the shooting death of 73-year-old Michael Lomer. He was found dead in his car 2 weeks ago near Park Meadows Mall. Lone Tree police say if you do see Neal, to please call 911.
A plastic surgeon will spend 15 days in jail and 2 years on probation for his role in the death of an 18-year-old patient. Emmeline Nguyen's heart stopped after she was sedated for breast augmentation surgery back in 2019. Well, Dr. Jeffrey Kim, the surgeon, resuscitated her, but over the next 5 hours, he misled her family about how serious the situation was, failed to transfer her to a hospital, and prevented his staff from calling 911. Nguyen lapsed into a coma and died 14 months later. A jury convicted Dr. Kim of attempted reckless manslaughter and obstructing telephone service. At his sentencing hearing, Nguyen's family described their pain, and prosecutor Gary Dawson said that underscored the seriousness of this case.
Is you just, in any kind of homicide case, you see the repercussions of this behavior that one person's life can have on the family members and those ripples. And this family will never be the same because of what Dr. Kim did.
The state medical board initially suspended Dr. Kim's license. Later, they put him on probation. After his conviction, they ordered him to disclose that to patients, but allowed him to continue practicing medicine, though it's unclear whether the board will take any other action after yesterday's sentencing.
Police departments across Colorado are struggling with staffing right now, and they really are working to find solutions. In Golden, they were letting officers work shorter weeks, and the department says it's paying off. This summer, Golden PD switched officers to 4-day work weeks. They're working 32 hours. They're still getting paid for 40, though. 6 months in now, police say overtime spending went down, and there were half as many resignations. They're going to keep this pilot program going through the end of the year and see if it is still making a difference. Police in Frisco are also looking at a different approach to retention. The police department wants to spend nearly $500,000 to buy take-home vehicles for their officers. The Frisco Town Council is now considering that plan.
The Garfield County Board of Commissioners aren't happy that the county's library wouldn't ban 2 books. County commissioners and library staff have been going back and forth for weeks over those 2 texts. The Board of Commissioners claims that they're pornographic and they wanted the library district to remove or relocate the books, but library staff decided to keep them on the shelves. They say the books aren't easily accessible in children's sections and they shouldn't be removed altogether. The Board of Commissioners doesn't have the power to reverse that decision, but in a resolution this week, they voiced their disapproval of the library board. That resolution also reminded library staff that commissioners review the library district's budget and have final say over who sits on the library board.
Board of County Commissioners have 2 duties: to review the budget and to approve or not any board member that comes before us. Take it back, number 3 is to work with you to make sure that you have a positive community library system.
It's a resolution of disapproval. It's not a directive from the Board of County Commissioners. We don't have any legal authority to direct you to do one thing or another.
The Board of Commissioners repeatedly said that they weren't trying to intimidate the library with the resolution. They claimed they were just defining their limited power over the library district. Right before passing the resolution, they rejected a candidate for the library board, calling her an activist.
Arapahoe County is adding some new restrictions to oil and gas sites, pushing them further away from homes. The county says the new rules are some of the strongest in the state. Neighbors around the Aurora Reservoir were pushing for these changes. Oil and gas operations will have to be at least 3,000 feet from homes, but companies could get a waiver to put sites closer if they go through extra review. Last month, the county also adopted rules to keep oil and gas sites at least a mile from reservoirs used for drinking water.